Previously on MaudeWorld.
These worms drop down from the ceiling. You look up and you, for a brief second, you make eye contact with one of the ones atop the worm runner. The familiar face of the druidic father. Lay down your arms and save yourself further pain. The second voice says, so, I trust that this is all in order?
I'm gonna kill you, Gary!
You find yourself on the middle of a large platform. You see a very sheer drop, some 200 feet to the ground.
Prisoners, rejoice, for you all have been chosen as a sacrifice to something greater than yourselves. You see the face of the young druidic girl. You all begin to make a break for the main gates. Alarm! Alarm! Prisoners escaping! Everyone awake! The calls of alarm, the rising voices of anger and panic sound from behind you as you all head out of the main gate, running for your lives. Can I start this encounter, ladies and gentlemen, with everybody making an athletics check, please? Those of you who are exhausted with disadvantage.
Okay, that's actually fine.
Yeah, mine's not.
I don't think I'm exhausted.
You're not exhausted.
No, I'm exhausted, so it's this one.
Oh no!
I rolled a natural 20
Single D!
and a 5.
Oh,
We're bringing my total down to a 4.
Wonderful.
Oh shit, are we all on 1 HP?
No. What? What? Are you, not having you?
no, please. No, please.
No, you're full health. I
Full
think
health.
because we slept, didn't we?
Yeah,
No,
did it
if we
count
are
as a long
exhausted.
rest?
You didn't get the benefits of a long rest.
Oh, okay then. Yeah.
So if we all got
Fuck.
knocked out, then we're all on 1 HP.
I didn't get it out.
You did have the benefits of a short rest, so you could have spent your hit dice.
Okay.
If you wish to do that now, you may do so.
Recommend.
Yes.
I surrendered at full health, so am I still full health?
Yes.
I'm going
I
to
have-
take one anyway, because I surrendered at 10 health.
So the only health I lost last session was you punching me to wake me up. Because you're a dick.
You deserved it. Sleeping with sleeper son.
You could have woken me up before you left.
Wake me up.
Didn't even try.
Correction. They could have tried to wake you up
I
before they
know, they
left.
don't know that. They didn't even try. Just a grumpy old man.
11 athletics.
11. Esther.
7.
7.
Oh no.
4.
For Damerus.
16.
16.
18.
Wow.
With
Even
disadvantage.
In the snow,
miss-
like.
Noise.
Because you had all that fucking sleep.
Yeah, I'm one of the only ones that's exhausted.
And yes, ironically, he's exhausted. Yes.
I'm really cold.
So
Laziness.
you begin to run down the mountainside. It is a single path. You soon discover that you appear to be up on a very high peak. Your transformed ally into this ape-like form is just leading the way, running down the mountainside, down the path in a large spiral around this mountain.
Scary helter-skelter.
Yes, like a really scary helter-skelter. Particularly for you, Esther, because you and Damerus...
Took to the fair that time.
You
Do those carnies. Yeah.
yes, Esther's backstory as a carnival folk is perhaps too terrifying for even this stream. But you continue making your way down the mountainside. The two of you really struggling and falling behind at some points, but the rest of you do manage to just sort of encourage them to keep up running.
Come on!
You can do it, man.
Stop being shit.
I thought we were running. What are you two doing?
Falling style.
Just bum shuffling down the
Use your legs!
Damerus, this is not the time to practice your handstands.
You hear the sounds of pursuit coming from behind you.
Trivial or?
No.
Good. Very good.
Considerably more than trivial. Life-threatening, some might argue.
Oh no.
Got all the wedges.
These increased bounding footsteps, but you're able to keep ahead of them for a time. Over the course, yes,
Do I notice that they're lagging behind?
yes.
You know what I'm going to do with my hero complex. I slow down and try and help them.
Okay.
Thanks.
I had kind of assumed that was a
It was just because you said it was single file, so my point is I would probably...
it's not single file.
Okay.
It's a single path.
All right.
It's still, the path is quite wide, but there doesn't seem to be any offshoots or anything.
Got you.
You continue moving at as fast a pace as you all possibly can. But over the course of the next several minutes, with some of you just lagging behind out of sheer exhaustion, some of you just being naturally slower than others, and being unable to keep up with, say, the transformed druid and surprisingly Herb, once again.
Strangely mediocre.
Well, you're pretty quick anyway,
Solid
though, aren't
11.
you?
Yeah, but just not very strong.
Mm. And you can hear these bounding footsteps, heavy footsteps. Starting to catch up with you. You round another bend around the mountain.
Who does that to a bag? Also tell them this next
You, ra-
Oh, yeah.
you round another corner.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hello, Russell.
Whilst we open the drumsticks. You round another corner. And you come out to a sort of a more open space.
So loud.
And you were all so busy sort of concentrating on what was behind you that you didn't hear what was coming from in front of you. And you
No.
see a rushing river in front of you down by this mountainside. As the mountain path continues to make its way down, but it is now sort of opened out a bit more. You are no longer on sort of this peak. The ground around you is sort of flattening out a bit more as you make your way lower and lower down. The river is rushing and rapid. White froth throwing itself up and around over this area. And you turn around, you've all sort of been constantly, rubbernecking over your shoulders in hearing what is behind you.
Herb, this is not the time.
No, that
But you
one's
gotta go, you gotta go.
that one's no tenuous at best. But and then you just hear this heavy sound of hooves of some sort hitting the ground, but too heavy you would think to be that of a horse. And as you sort of come to an instinctive stop outside this area, you look around and you can see the source of this noise. You see this enormous stag-like creature, easily standing 16, 17, 18 feet tall. Its massive, muscular body just charging down the mountainside. On its back sit several dwarven individuals. these dwarven individuals, you can see, are sort of in the process of beginning to leap down from this giant stag creature. Their forms beginning to shift. Ladies and gentlemen, roll initiative.
Can I jump in the river?
We'll get to that.
Dire goldfish.
Well, anyway, that's a 1.
Yeah.
So, as we all know, that means I roll better.
One of these days you're going to roll double ones.
Yes. But until that day, I am better. Oh dear, you are in trouble. Right disadvantage on initiative. As usual.
I'm going to say no just for the sake of
That's
expediency.
very, very good.
Just for the sake of expediency, I could be wrong. So, 25 to 20.
Yes. 22.
22.
Nice.
Instead of 8 if I'd had disadvantage.
20 to 15.
17.
13.
That's not 15 to 20.
12.
Also 12.
Okay, 15 to 10. 13, 12, 12. Okay. No, we don't have the money for that. Yes, it is a very, very hot day today, so we are having the windows open. Sorry, Herb, it was 13, did you say?
12.
12, and
13.
13 it was Ester.
Sometimes I just feel like I'm just losing my religion, you know?
Oh no, you've said too much.
I haven't said enough! Always do this.
No.
Consider this. I had a dream about this last night, you know, just as I was entering, what's it called? Rapid eye movement. Yeah.
Oh, REM.
Oh, REM, yeah.
Oh, it's funny because his name of band sings song that is playing in distance.
Why?
Ho ho! So, the group of you watch, and sorry to do this to you, buddy, again, but once again, everybody but Drakensian notices that
That is a big fucking stag. I hope there's nothing else I should be looking at right now.
well, you're far too distracted with the giant, like just enormous stag, that you don't notice the individuals on its back.
Did you know he didn't have a tongue?
That's as big as me.
Hung like a giant elk. But the four of you notice one of the individuals on this elk's back is a young dwarven boy who looks familiar.
Hate that guy.
So,
Fucking little shit.
I'll kill anybody because I don't recognize anyone.
Kill them all.
Damerus, you see this creature charging towards you. You see the river behind you. You see this sort of mini plateau area has a radius of maybe 10 feet or so. And you can see this elk with these dwarves on its back charging down towards you. What? I believe at the end of the last session, I said that... Well, okay, hang on. At the end of the last session, I said that Vela was the last one to leave, but the two of you would have been lagging behind, as would...
As with Nick,
Yeah,
if
as
I
would you.
noticed that, I
I
would go
grabbed
back.
him at the end.
You-
I
yeah, you
grabbed
threw
him
me.
and forced him through the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't running happily, despite my good roll.
So I will say, Damerus, you are standing currently alongside Esther and Drake, with this creature charging towards your group. What do you do?
So we're next to a big old rushing river, right?
Yes.
I yell to everyone, I suppose it's better not to die here. Into the river! And I'm gonna use my movement to, well, if I have to, I'll use my bonus action to dash so I can get into that river.
Okay.
And let it
You
whisk me away.
Okay. So you all watch as Damerus just begins to run and leaps forward and into this rushing rapids. Can you make, Damerus, an athletics check for me, please?
No, probs not.
Oh!
It's 0. Because I rolled a natural one.
Damn.
How much?
Or it would have been a 3.
Yeah.
Or it would have been 2.
I have a -1.
Oh
Strength.
no.
Spoiler alert, neither of those would have worked.
Whoa.
Damerus, how much health are you on, please?
Not enough.
Oh,
After
no.
my short rest, I'm on full HP.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Not for long.
Well,
Full dead man.
15 points of drowning damage.
You jump in, but you. Well, I say jump. It's really more of a just out of sheer terror and exhaustion, and like just sort of looking back over your shoulder, you're like, this is a really stupid fucking idea, but and you just run towards these rushing rapids and try to jump, but just through a combination of slippery ground, exhaustion, and terror, you more just fall in, and you immediately feel yourself being dragged downstream at an incredibly rapid pace. You feel just cuts and bashes along your body as you are just being buffeted by rocks, both smooth and sharp. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Cool.
And you are very much being washed away.
Nice. That was my intention.
So many high strength characters to drag you back out.
Drakensian, you're up.
See you at the ocean.
So, we were at the back. Are they between us and the river? Vela.
Herb and Vela, because they were at the front.
Great. So, Damerus says into the river and goes in. I see the giant stag, and nobody's fooled but my own. I would like to run around and rugby tackle my granddad into the water, just shouting, "This is for the cavern!" and take him down with me.
That's dangerously close to a reference. So, very well. Can you make, first of all, Herb, are you resisting this?
I don't think so, because Herb was already, probably didn't even stop. He was already going for the river.
So you're like getting ready to dive in, and
Yeah.
I just jump on you.
Okay.
And he was probably very surprised, so I don't think so. I think you just take him by surprise.
Fair enough. In that case, Drake, make an athletics check, please.
No. Yes. Or yes. So I'll go for a 6.
6.
I'm
So-
I'm sure that's plenty.
You.
I'm gonna bounce off your back. This is for the cavern. Ah!
So you actually you charge forward towards your grandfather, just like, but like it's hard to run. Your lungs are just, it's a weird sensation. Your lungs are burning, and the rest of your body is just shivering with cold from being up on this mountainous area with pretty much no clothes. And you actually just sort of run into your grandfather. Herb, can you just make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
Are we just going to pile up like when you knock over a stack of dominoes?
19.
Not with a 19. So, Herb, Drake, you actually just sort of run into your grandfather. Herb, you sort of manage to catch your balance, not expecting this. And Drake, you just fall flat on your face.
That's fair. Ow! That wasn't for the cavern.
On the
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Cool. Just so you know.
Fuck.
So at this point, the 4 dwarven individuals. The 4 dwarven individuals jump from this stag's back. Their forms shifting and changing as they do, and you watch as, by the time they all land in front of this enormous stag, they have changed into familiar forms, incredibly large dire wolves. And having spotted what Damerus did,
What I failed to do.
what you failed to do,
That's the name of a really awful tell-all book. What Damerus did.
very you knew. And so these wolves are going to charge at the 4 of you, 1 on each of you.
I'm lying on the ground. I'm
Sorry,
fine.
everyone.
Yeah, so they get an advantage on you, Drakensian.
What? That's crazy.
That would be a 19 versus AC.
Yes.
He makes good eats.
You take 11 points of piercing damage.
Tastes like double
I'm gonna get
breakfast.
caught.
I do taste like double breakfast.
Not you, obviously.
And you're already on the ground, so you don't have to make a strength saving throw.
Yay!
Good news.
Already prone.
Yes.
Already prone.
Yeah. Vela.
Hmm.
That's going to be a 21.
Yeah.
Can you make a strength saving throw for me,
Can.
please?
Oh no. You're strong.
Oh, it's only a 13.
13 is what you needed.
Hooray!
You do take 10 points of piercing damage.
Oh, no, ow.
As this wolf, in fact, you would have noticed the one on you is Ruck. That's he's just pounded for you, growls, not quite like that, but does growl, takes a sort of just not like that either, takes a chunk out of your arm and almost manages to push you over, but wise to your previous experience, you're able to keep your balance. Ester, against you, that is a 23 versus AC. Can you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
I can certainly try.
You guys are all gonna
No.
die before you get
In
the river.
hindsight, leaving the 16-year-old girl, failing to knock my granddad into the river, and breaking my nose was not a good day.
10.
10.
I'm gonna drown.
You take 13 points of piercing damage, and you are tackled to the floor as this creature jumps on top of you.
Okay.
Herb.
Smells.
Mother of God, I'm rolling so well. That's a 24 versus AC.
It's even old Herb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Could you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
Yeah.
You're good at those, right?
I'm
Yeah,
better
but-
than not good at them. 18.
Hooray!
I'm better than not good at them. Alex Wells King 2019. Okay, so you take, having become familiar with things charging at you in the last 6 seconds,
Flying.
you do manage to keep your footing and dodge out of its way, but you do take a whole 12 points of piercing damage as it bites down into you.
Mackerel.
We lost our Camus Red.
Did we?
No,
Yeah,
did
that's
we?
back on the thing.
Oh,
Paid
how
50
much
gold
did
for
we
that.
spend?
Yeah,
Where
we've
is it?
lost all of our gold. Right. Everything is gone.
But
But
that
the wine!
Where is the wine?
Without
it's back in the thing, yeah. I have
With
it.
all our gear, wherever the
Oh, on the
fuck that
worm
is.
runner.
Mm. That's what I'm thinking as I'm being mauled to death by a wolf.
We
Oh,
spent
the
50
wine!
gold on that bottle of wine.
I'll never get to drink it.
Okay. With that, we come to Esther and Herb. You're on deck.
Classic Herb.
Right, I'm prone.
Yes.
Am I close to anyone? Am I close to Damerus?
He's in the river.
Damerus is in the river.
He's gone.
You're actually closest to the stag and the wolves because you were at the back, and the other two people who were at the back are no longer at the back. So
Great. Yeah, that sounds really good. That sounds really good.
I
I'd
don't
like
think
to
she knows
get
what
up.
good is anymore.
How far are we from the river?
No.
not far, about 15 feet.
15 feet. Well, that's certainly convenient because I'd like to get up with half of my 30 feet movement. And I'd like to make
On
a
the
dash
fuck
for the
away.
river,
Okay.
therefore taking that attack of opportunity.
Can't you
Yeah.
disengage as your main
You got knocked down. And you got up again. But
Yeah.
They can probably keep me down.
You do take the attack of
Can't you
opportunity.
disengage? You don't attack.
I can't do that.
You can. You can
I
actually
can
disengage.
as an action.
But you have to declare it before he rolls an
I was
attack.
going to say you could have,
Um,
but you're just, I'm going to say, just in your panic of being pounced by this creature with a
being
22.
not accustomed to it.
Yeah, with a 22, it is going to hit you. Huh. That's not too bad. Double ones, so you only take 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay, well that's only
Lovely.
exactly what it took to put me down. So
No.
with my remaining 15 feet of movement,
Yeah, so
Skinny tall.
it just bites into your leg, and poof, you fall to the floor.
that was exactly.
Unconscious.
If it had been one less, I still.
Bye. Remember me.
Honestly.
Unfortunately, that's its minimum damage.
Yeah. You will never survive once again.
God damn it!
So,
That's through lack of long rest.
so Esther, that is your turn. Herb, you're up. Vela, you're on deck.
I would like
Damerus
to
have to find a new adventuring party.
spend a key point to step
If
of the
Damerus
wind
survives the river.
Yes.
Yeah, he's probably going to drown, to be honest.
Yeah.
I rolled a
and
0.
tempt
so-
so I can disengage from this thing attacking me.
Yep.
As a bonus action and try and drag her into the river.
That's totally what I was going to do.
I was going to drag you into the river, but now, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I'm alive.
Okay.
I'm a super speedy monk.
You are a super
and
speedy
I'm
monk.
stepping of the
Do it,
wind,
do
so
it,
I'm
do it.
even super speedy.
Yes, this is possible.
My jump is doubled.
Good to know. However,
Disengage from one. Attacked by the one
That's
that
a
attacked
bonus.
Esther.
How-
Grapple check?
so okay, so no, so
She
this, so
crawled
this is
away
what
from
happened.
it. She
So
got away from it.
Esther like got up,
Opportunity
attempted to
attack on it.
scrabble backwards.
And it,
She got a few feet, but then before she could get out of its range, it bit her. So Esther kind of fell. She's fallen on her back. Is about 10. I mean, like, you know, head is about 10 feet. Feet is about 15 feet away from the river's edge. But the wolf does have her leg in its jaws. You can attempt it, but you will need to make an athletics check to
Alright,
do so.
I'm gonna have a go. I can't.
I don't want to be an amputee.
Yeah.
I picked
An
up-
amputee and a dead girl.
Make an athletics check, please.
Is
Herb.
it? I like death.
It's true, yeah.
9.
Oh.
No, you're just attempting to pull Esther out of its jaws, but this creature just
Make a death save. now.
is snarling. It's not letting go of her.
Holy smokes.
oh
Is that my turn?
no.
Did that do
That's your
anything?
action.
Damn
You have some of your movement left, I will say. Yeah,
Not
given that
gonna-
you did Step of the Wind, I will give you.
I can't leave her though.
Get around to the other side of her.
Yeah.
I am
yeah.
outside
Jid,
of-
what are you
I'm-
doing?
Yeah, the other side of her, which I think is where I am, because the wolf is pulling her leg and
Yeah,
I'm pulling her arms. I'm imagining towards the river.
Yeah. So river, you, her, wolf.
Okay. So Drakenshian, get up your fat ass and give me a hand.
Okay, that will be Herb's turn. Vela, you're up.
What is
He's
my
right. He's right.
what's my current like engagement? I have a
So you have
I
a
have-
you have a single dire wolf on
yes. Okay.
you, and
Just just in melee with me essentially,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. I would like to use my
You-
bonus action to cast Healing Word on Esther.
Very well. Roll a d4 plus wisdom.
Don't be dead.
No, don't be dead.
That's the word. Healing Word.
It's all one word. Don't be dead.
Oh, what? That's so shit. 5. Oh wait, spell ability. Yeah, 5.
Yeah, it is
5. Okay.
Dead
5 hit
shit.
points for you.
Yeah.
So Esther, you wake up and you can feel your arms being pulled from above, and you can feel your leg being pulled from below.
Ow.
Yes.
Cool. So that's a bonus action to cast that. So
Correct.
I'm gonna say to him in Sylvan, "What the hell are you doing? We're supposed to be friends." And then I'm gonna use an action to disengage.
And then fall into the river.
Don't look at the camera.
And then I'm gonna run over to where Esther is to try and help. I know I won't be able to do anything because I've used
Okay.
an action.
No,
but
good
I'm
to
gonna
know.
come over to help.
Okay.
Probably stand there and micromanage.
Good to know. Okay.
Just a spot.
These guys have
No,
no
other
idea what
leg.
the hole is going to do to them now that they've betrayed the hole.
I mean, in fairness, that would imply that they had to have loyalty to the hole in the first place.
They're about to find out why
No,
they
no,
should have had loyalty.
the whole punishes. The whole punishes.
The
No,
hole
but
is
betrayal has to implicitly implies
They were given
Loyalty.
a pact with
The hole is disinterested in your human politics.
dwarves.
Okay. So the two of you are standing over Vela. Esther, sorry. So I'm going to roll a d20. Odds, evens.
What?
Who is attacking?
Herb.
Yes.
You, as
That's
you
really cool.
as you are attempting
You're
to
not being
pull
attacked.
as you attempt to pull Esther away, you hear just this,
No.
and then, and you look up. Just
Rocket and blasting up again!
yeah, that's gonna be a 21 versus AC.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Can you make a strength
Level
saving?
3, man.
Can you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
I'm glad I'm drowning and not being murdered by the druids.
18. Okay.
But 700
It
points
only
of damage.
impaled you with one of its antlers.
And it did charge at you.
I see what's happening.
You take 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
I am dead.
Well, but
Unconscious.
that'll teach you, you old bastard.
You just Drakendian, help me with this, and the last thing you see before consciousness fades from you
Just be going.
is this enormous stag charging down, and just it rams you directly just in the center of your solar plexus.
Buttocks.
You are sent flying.
Into the
14 feet.
Wait, that's not good. You can't breathe.
I float pretty good.
Uh-oh.
Not in a river with rapids.
You are set. You are set, and you actually just roll several feet away down near sort of the continuing ramp, continuing path downwards. You're not in the river, but you are very much unconscious.
Goodbye.
At this point,
Damerus starts a new life down.
Damerus becomes one with the mer people.
Lumberjack.
Damerus is gonna end up dying when he finds a town, like steals his way into a position of having gear again, and marches right back here to find everyone dying on the riverbanks.
those of you who are conscious and not in the river, you hear, and you watch as you see this your ape-shaped ally make a charge for the wolf that is carrying Ester, or well, not carrying, but biting Ester.
Ragdolling.
Yes. And yeah, that's going to hit.
Yes.
And I can't remember what the stats were.
Classic monkey.
Get out of here, you damn dirty apes.
Yeah.
No, they're helping.
I don't know.
No, he's not.
I'm drowning.
Bye.
I'm gone, I'm drowning.
God damn it.
Sorry, I can hold my breath for like, what is it, a minute plus con mod?
I don't know.
So 2 minutes. You're meant to know all the rules.
How many rounds will it take you to succeed a strength check, Damerus? I've
That's very
seen that
true.
character sheet.
If you're unconscious, the whole holding a breath thing.
So
Yeah.
you watch as this ape charges towards the one that is ragdolling Ester, and the wolf sort of sees it coming, ducks one punch, but then just with another blow of massive primate strength, the wolf is shoved backwards as the ape is now basically standing over your body, Ester, beating its chest and sort of facing away from you and just sort of seemingly protecting you.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir.
Indeed. Damerus, can you make an athletics check for me, please?
Hey, buddy.
Right.
0!
Fail again.
That's
Get rid of
another
that.
nat one.
It was the other one that rolled a one last time.
No more dice for you.
Damerus, approach the DM.
Oh, no.
Oh man.
So next character comes in,
Yeah.
shoots them all.
So what was your backup character?
Hi, so welcome Shmamerus.
Hey, to avenge my father.
Right, so awake but under a giant ape. Unconscious.
I'm good.
Fine, yeah. Just
I'm standing over the
Yeah,
dead.
with the giant ape.
I'm watching this ragdoll thing happening. I'm just being like,
If I was an ape, that's definitely what I've got a wolf on me. I'm just lying on the ground like, well, this is not what I thought today was going to be.
Bella, are you just doing a mental register of all of your escape animal shapes that you can use?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
well, there's birds.
But you're currently
You
underwater
guys are like
Yeah.
getting attacked.
and
I could
have been travelling very fast downstream. So
Awesome. Awesome.
I don't think that is.
okay.
Damerus has
No.
encountered the piranha druids.
Lying.
How could you hear from over there? So
Esther hears all.
apparently so, but not for long. Drake.
Sweet. I will stand up, much like the real swim shape. And
Oh, it's funny because it's lyric and song.
so that I've got 12.5 feet left. Can I reach my granddad?
Yes.
Sweet. then I will use an action to disengage. I will action surge to stabilize, and I will bonus action to second wind.
Nice.
Okay.
Fighters!
Make a medicine check with disadvantage.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Mr. Negative Wisdom.
Or better. So only 12.
12, okay. So
With a -1.
So you manage to you lean over Herb, just desperately trying to stabilize him, and you can see that he is breathing, and you actually you almost think for a moment, oh gods, do I have to crack his arm back in? But no, you're fine. Herb, you are stable, but you turn around, Drake, and you're also just very aware of the
It's cool.
pouring.
Yes! I am back to full health.
Okay. I hope that will
Nothing
help.
ever happened.
I hope that will help you.
As I stand over my unconscious grandfather. I can do this all day.
I don't wake the help, do I?
No.
No, but you don't make death saves.
Hooray.
You're welcome.
So,
Bastard.
let's see here. There are 4 of them.
I've also used all my abilities, so...
Yay.
No.
Oh, sorry.
The other thing.
Not,
Okay,
not
so
good.
Yes.
2 of them are going to go for the... In fact... 2 of them are going to go for the large ape that is beating its chest, harrowing it. Now they roll badly. One of them does manage to get a bite attack in, but this incredibly strong ape just manages to take it still standing, holding them off. Ouch. Despite this large... it's a weird sensation. You would expect, this ape sort of like gorilla-type creature. It's sort of similarly shaded to a... sort of similarly built to a gorilla, I should say, but very... much more grey and white, much lighter in its fur tones. Adapted to a mountain environment, some might say. One of them is going to go for Vela.
No.
I am Sara.
Yep, that's going to be a that's going to be a 20
Yes.
versus AC. Can you make a strength?
Whatever it is,
Can you
I've
make a
got-
strength save for me, please?
Do it now.
Okay.
Oh.
No. 7?
You are knocked prone,
Oh.
and because again with the double ones, you take 5 points of piercing damage.
Hey, I also rolled double ones.
And you just this form sort of pounces on you from behind. You manage to roll over as you're trying to force it off, and you just see this snarling face right up against yours. Same wolf once again.
He does not like you.
Well, that's
Not
rude.
pleasant.
We're friends.
Pretty fucking gnarly.
And
Wait.
against you, Drakensian,
Come at me. I'm feeling fine.
you could in fact not do this all day, but that was almost a 20. But that is a 19 versus AC.
I'm fine.
Could you make a strength save for me, please?
Do I have this one from these as well?
No.
Thank God.
You sound a bit like when you're trying to start
18.
18.
Yeah.
You managed to not get
I'm
knocked
just stuck
before,
between laugh or cry. Yeah.
but from double ones to double sixes, you do take 15 points of piercing
I'm
damage.
glad I second winded. I'm now bloody.
Damerus' conscience can 100% deal with
Okay,
the fourth
that's the
one.
wolf's turn. Esther, you're up.
Am I still
Yay.
That's alright, I'm gonna throw him in the
Esther, you're
room.
up. Herb, well, Herb, you're unconscious, but so Vela, you will be on deck.
You know what you did.
Am I still in its jaws?
No, the
Ape
ape creature punched your attacker off you.
Right.
They are now engaged with it.
Marvellous. Then I would like to get up using half my movement.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to bonus healing word herb.
Great for a because
So many
that is your you heal for maximum Herb because you are unconscious.
Ah,
So
well, remember to do
because
that.
because
Yeah, because I'm a grave cleric.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, grave clerics technically do their best healing when
You're close to
when
death.
people are unconscious. Yeah, they so
Stick around. This is
They
gonna
just-
happen a lot.
they just
That's
don't.
what she has.
Always wait.
They just don't they don't roll. It's just the maximum of whatever the spell is. So in this case, 1d4 plus 5, 4 plus 5, 9.
Do you have 20
Is it plus? Sorry, is
No.
it plus 5 or is it plus 4?
What's your wisdom?
Yes, it's plus 5.
So I'm on 9.
You have 20 wisdom.
Huh? Yes?
Damn.
No, that's my attack bonus. No, I don't. Sorry.
So you have plus
plus
3.
3.
Plus
that
3.
that was my one-shot character.
Ah, yes. So 7.
Cool. Healing words.
that
Up
mean
with
I'm
half my
awake now?
movement.
Yes.
Disengage with my action.
Yes, please.
I don't mean to brag, but I know these rules really well.
It's kind of arrogant, but okay.
And I would like to run for the river, please.
Okay, you are able to get up and making that exact noise. Cleric Zoidberg does in fact make it into the river. Can I have you make an athletics check, please?
No.
Uh-oh.
It's, as is tradition, a natural 1.
No.
What is with this river, man?
Bad juju.
I am not going in that river.
Is
I
this
will
another
die
one of the
here.
Druids' magic defences. They've just like this is
Magic
natural
river.
one. Yeah.
Where they dump their
What?
piss
Just
and shit.
terrible player luck.
Yeah.
Bad luck canyon.
Oh, that's the piss river.
Why are they jumping in there?
Esther, you again just sort of out of a. You are basically just sort of on your barely on your feet. You get up.
Oh no.
Face down.
You-
Body still.
You get up, breathing heavily. You just barely manage to get a word out to heal Herb, and again you just trying to make a leap, but then you fall into the river. These rocks that are in these incredible rapids just begin battering your body. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I'm out again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be real good underwater.
Yeah.
Good rapids. Do we just see her go under and just no bubbles?
She does not come up.
But how would you know if there's
Ah,
bubbles?
for
They're rapids. And you haven't seen Damerus either.
That's true. Because all we see is two go in and no one come out.
Okay, Esther, that is your turn. Herb, because you are now conscious, you are up. Vela, you're on deck. You see. So you look. You take a brief. You take a brief look around. You see. You see your grandson kneeling over you.
like.
You see this wolf harrowing your grandson, and you see the large
stag on me.
The stag is not on you, but it's very close to you because it kind of just threw Herb aside.
Making them eyes.
Oh, you.
And you see Vela up towards the front on some of the other wolves with this large ape. You see no sign of Ester or Damerus.
Did I see her go in? Because I sort of woke up as she healing word.
Make a perception check, please.
Natural 20.
You saw her jump
Watch
in.
me jump into the river.
You sort of instinctively, just instinctively with your sort of monk reflexes, you sort of opened your eyes immediately, sort of sat up, and you saw, and you didn't see her surface.
Did I, while I was looking really, really well over there, see like a safe place to jump into the river?
I mean, the
Us in the river of death.
Perceived like
It's like spiked rocks, and then there's like a little ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the bit
It's
without
fucking
natural
rocks.
rocks?
it's hard to you just see rushing water.
Okay, I think I would react as soon as I saw her sort of clearly, basically fall unconscious as she went into the river, peg it for the river and try and dive and catch her, if possible.
Make an athletics check. This water is fast moving.
19.
I will say that you sort of take a very quick sort of almost sort of just instinctive guess. You leap up, just run past your grandson, just not
Oh, be praised!
I caught you up, you old bastard!
barely giving him a second thought. Leap into the water.
I appreciate it.
Can I have you make another athletics check, please?
Into the river.
18.
18. So you are actually able to just about manage to stay above the water and sort of keep your wits and balance about you. Yes, it's hard, and you are still being rushed away downstream, but you are above the water.
Bye.
Yep.
See you.
I'm just trying to think. You've moved. I would say that you've used your action with the looking and the running towards Ester. I will say that you can see you can just about make out slightly below you, or slightly sort of below and in front of you, an Ester-esque shape. But that is your turn. I will say. Vela.
Yeah. Get her out of here.
So I'm
you are-
knocked prone.
You have been knocked prone with
Homer
this
Simpson coming down the
wolf on
mountain.
top of you.
How far away is Drake from me at the moment?
I'd say about 10 feet.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna get up.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell to Drake. Yeah. I'm like, get ready to ride! And I'm gonna use my action to turn into a riding horse.
Well, okay then.
And I'm gonna,
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hopefully make my way over to him, but also I'm aware that will.
Yeah, the wolf does.
Yeah.
Rock
Not
does
the
get.
first time that's been said to me.
Rock does get an attack of opportunity,
Oh, I'm
but
just doing hit points because I wanted to roll. Oh yeah.
that's that's gonna hit you.
Uh-huh.
And immediately no longer a horse.
No, I'm not a horse. I
Uh,
meant ride just on my back.
Go.
how much HP do you have as a horse, as a riding horse?
I rolled for it, so 19.
Okay, you take 12 points of piercing damage as this creature bites down into your leg.
12? Ow, my horse leg.
You let out a distinctive whinnying cry of pain, but you are a horse.
That's very different to what I thought she meant, but it's much better in this situation.
Very,
now.
very distant,
Specifically.
very distantly,
Not making
Vela.
any
You
strong
think you hear
statements.
very distantly, Vela. You think you hear from the river horse. So,
Hooray. Come back.
and you anything else?
If I can use movement to get towards him. I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to physically get, maybe just duck down a little because you're quite short.
I am quite sure.
I don't want you,
Okay,
don't want you
I
to
will-
not be able to get up.
I will say that. I will say that you are able to get over towards Drakensian, trying to, sort of weave your way around the other various creatures, particularly around the giant stag that is very much larger than you.
Yeah.
Anything else, Vela?
No, I think that's all I can do. Yep, that's
Okay.
cool.
So, perceiving the not you actually.
I know. I'm now below a horse. Just
Yeah.
like, oh, well, hello there.
Actually, perceiving the threat of the ape.
Oh yeah.
The stag is actually going to turn around and attempt to ram her.
Is he within? Can I slap him?
Can you slap him? No,
That's
because he has
child.
a very long reach. However, actually, he does sort of turn, in the process of turning around. He didn't expect the horse to be there, so he's kind of and just tries to
That's the horse.
to thrust his antlers at the ape creature, but manages just to miss entirely. The ape looking around.
Abandon us all, jump in the river, and then I'm left with all the enemies. Right. One at a time.
For an orderly queue.
I'm ready.
Sorry.
If it was a horse the right size for a halfling, was it just like a little pony?
It's like a Shetland pony, like.
As long as I still get 60 feet of movement, yes.
Right.
So, Drake, because Vela, you're looking the other way at this point. Drake, you notice the ape sort of just turns, tries to make a break for the river, and the two wolves just pounce her and bite down into her back, and her form drops, and the two of you again see the familiar figure. You not at
Me
this
for the
moment,
first
Bella, but yes, you see it is.
What?
Yeah, it is the young.
You?
It is the young female dwarf whom you encountered previously.
Make sure you're helpful. None of your other family are here to help us, because that would be
They
really
are.
convenient.
They're here.
Oh,
They're
not
here.
helping.
They're not helping.
You're a horse. Yeah, she agrees.
and also, she doesn't understand
I
you.
know, yeah.
So that's her turn. At this point, Damerus, you're still conscious, aren't you?
Blub blub.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Surprisingly, all the water in the
See your
lungs is
teeth
making me
blow
feel
past
very,
you.
very fresh.
You just see an
Can you-
unconscious Esther.
Can you make no,
No.
no, not yet.
Yeah, I have
He's still
I have hit points left.
Can you make another athletics check for me, please?
Yes, I can.
Come on, no whammy. 8. That's
Not
much better than 2 than a 1.
0.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, this river, you are just so very exhausted, so very
Yeah.
tired.
It's the blood poisoning, from 2 days ago. That's how exhausted I am.
Jesus.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage,
Sweet, nice.
and then, due to what I described to you previously, make a. In fact, no. You see.
Yeah.
You see as you get closer. You see this figure
Drive past.
drive past. No, you see this figure
It's the park rangers.
lift one of its appendages, and you come to a stop.
The fuck are you doing?
I'm with the river people.
You come to a sudden stop, which is very jarring considering how fast you were moving.
Yeah.
But that is your turn. Drake.
I don't know. Just the river.
Drake.
Yes.
Jump on the horse. I mean,
If you're agonizing about it, I can make you roll for it.
No. It's I'm agonizing about it. Drake wouldn't. I can survive that. I've survived everything else. I run over to the dwarf, kind of like wave at the horse, and like this way, and run over to the dwarf and try and drag her towards the dwarf.
Think about your best friend.
I'm thinking about the ape who literally saved all our lives.
Single D.
Shut up, boy.
Make a strength check with disadvantage. You are trying to pull against these 2 dire wolves.
I'll reroll that 1. That's okay. That's okay. 10.
10. You're attempting to pull this young girl out of the jaws of these 2 dire wolves, but you are exhausted,
You are bad dogs.
and they turn their attention up towards you.
Okay, you're good dogs. Stop it.
Anything else, Drake?
I'm gonna run and use the bathroom. I'm gonna use
You
the-
such a
Classic.
I'm
Connor.
drowning, so
You're lucky you're
I've got
beer.
the whole initiative order to come
Don't-
back and then drown some more.
don't drown in the
I
toilet.
don't think that even. I don't. No, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you down?
I'm not yet, but I've got 2 wolves on me.
So at this point,
Go on without me. What if I die?
that is a 15 versus AC.
I have 15 AC.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh.
So,
I don't think you mean that.
that's
Stupid hero complex.
However, that's only a 13 versus AC.
That misses,
So-
even with no armor.
Great. So make 1 strength saving throw, please.
Fuck yeah. No. 6.
No, you are not prone and take 11 points of physical
I'm
damage.
down. I believe the phrase is.
Okay.
So you see me go. No, we've got to save the dwarf. Come on, help me. And then I go. I just horse face palm.
Hoof palm.
So
Stick a
Bella,
hoof on
Wait,
your
hoof
head.
palm? Face hoof.
Hoof palm.
I just of you.
With my dead body.
Vela, does a 12 hit your horse AC?
Horse AC. Yeah, I think it does.
Your Nacy.
Yes.
That's it done for the night. You won't get another that.
Leave! Get out!
No, but that was very good.
That was very good.
But does it hit
I
your...
like that he committed and actually left the room.
But
But
does,
it's an 8 from me.
Can I have a Can I have a horse strength saving throw, please?
So strong? Please, horse? Stronger than me.
That's not that strong.
No, that's not a good roll. That is
your homie.
9.
Oh, you want
9. So first, you take 11 points of piercing damage.
I'm not a horse anymore.
Okay, and you are knocked to the floor with this. You are knocked to the floor with this familiar wolf on top of you.
See, now if I'd been riding you, I would have just gone down with you. So really,
You're a gentleman.
because I was raised right.
I was trying to think of something, but
Don't worry, I got you, man. It's a shame. 'Cause I had another one. I had Hey C in the bag. Which is not.
Nice.
that's also good. Vela,
Mm-hmm.
you were also able to see, just before your form drops as a horse, one of the last remaining wolf bite down into the girl's neck.
Oh, that's not cool.
It's now ragdolling her.
That's gonna be me next.
That's less sad.
You're gonna feel
So-
bad when you don't have a grad.
That's
Not for long.
that
I'm
is
about to die.
okay. So Vela, you are now once again prone, feeling very close to the end of your tether.
Get in the fucking water.
Esther, can you make a death saving throw for me, please?
Get out the fucking water.
Make up your
Get
mind.
out of the fucking sea. 4.
It's one failure.
Which is also what we call Drakenzi.
Herb,
I saved you.
Herb, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
I would like to swim for the Ester-shaped form bobbing around, and try and pull her to the surface.
Make a hefty athletics check, please.
Hefty it is.
Athletics.
As in, yes, as in between the because between the
we're ready to go.
Yep,
current
sounds good,
and
yep.
dragging Esther up, it's going to be.
How's a 4? Hefty enough?
You are just dragged under the surface, and you are desperately trying to.
I've got this.
Pretty much. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage
I'm unconscious, man.
Oh no.
from these rocks,
I guess the failing runs into family.
Can't hear you.
and you can't
Can't
talk.
hear
That's
you
true.
dying.
Can't hear you. The drowning is really loud. Vela, you are
The last conscious.
You were the last.
the last conscious person.
I'm conscious.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just also drowning.
With an appendage nearby.
You are the last conscious person who is not in the river.
Get in the river. You've got to get in the river.
You're unconscious, right?
I'm unconscious with a wolf standing over me, and you've just seen them kill the dwarf girl. And you're going to be next if you don't get in the river.
And you have
You
these
don't hear
four.
that.
You have these. You have the 4 wolves.
Mm-hmm.
You have the giant elk.
Okay.
Drakenzian is unconscious.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Healing Word on you,
Ooh, black.
so that you're not dead. Hopefully.
Yet.
Yeah.
Optimism. Cool. That's 7 hit points. And I'm just gonna make a run for the river.
Okay. Are you doing anything else? Given that there is a wolf on top of you?
Oh, what?
Bucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't realise there was a wolf on top of me.
Sorry,
no.
yes, there is
No,
a
then
wolf
I
on
would-
top of you.
I'd be using my action to disengage it.
There we go. Good to know. So
Sorry,
you just
I should
no,
have checked that beforehand.
no, it's fine. I was being kind.
Oh.
It's
It's just the guy killing all of us.
Not all of us.
No. Connor, stop hitting yourself. You're fine. What's the matter, Connor? Huh? Stop hitting yourself. So, you jump into the stream.
Will you try? Let's
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yes. Can you make an athletics check for me, please, Vela? As the current immediately takes you.
16.
16. You are able to keep above the surface of the water as you are rapidly being dragged away downstream. Okay. So, at this point, Vela, one of the last things you see as you are being washed away. In fact, actually, no, because Drake, you are now conscious. My apologies.
Well, hello. Can't we talk about this?
You are prone, are you not?
Yeah, a little bit with a wolf on me. Good dog?
It's not the dog you need to worry about.
Oh, right. Good. Oh, shit.
Yep.
You're not a dog at all.
14.
Yes.
So you just like what, and then you see these enormous hooves, as big as your face, if not bigger, like just coming down towards you. You just managed to roll out of the way, and you almost feel the stone. You just feel the vibration almost push you away slightly at the sheer force of this creature's hooves. Rolled a 6 and an 8 with rolled a 3 and an 8 with advantage. That would have hurt.
You're crazy.
Yeah. You watch. You see the wolf has you see that the wolf is just ragdolling the young girl. There is no movement to her.
You guys are cunts.
And you are currently on the floor with no sign of anyone else around, surrounded by these animals.
I've had worse days.
What do you do?
I would like to stand up, dust myself off, disengage and jump in the river.
Good.
No!
Make a make an athletics check, yes.
Are you holding to tradition?
No, it's the worst number a halfling can roll.
A 2!
Oh!
So that would be a 5.
5. You are dragged underwater and take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm still alive. You can't kill me that easy.
Oh, Andy.
You can't.
So, okay, at this point, Damerus, you watch as the water around you begins to swirl even more. Your friends, Ester, then Herb, then Vela, then Drake, like, stop against this form. And up, it rises up, out of the water. Vela, Drake, you bump against something hard and smooth. And you sort of just instinctively try to grab on to what looks like almost sort of a hole. And then whatever you are grabbing onto begins to move. You are all lifted up out of the water on the back of an enormous shell. You look down and you see this enormous Blastoise without the water cannons. It's an enormous turtle.
I don't know if this is better.
You are...
I like it already.
The last giant animal we saw tried to kill me.
You are on its back. Ester, Herb, Can I have you make a death saving throw, please?
If I notice they're unconscious, I'm going to go try and help again.
I would also like to go and.
19.
Okay, you're both fine.
Oh.
I would like to try and go and.
2. I
assist.
slapped her. Wake up!
Yeah, as best as possible.
Worked last time.
One of the unconscious people I would like to try and help.
Okay. Which one?
Well, I guess Herb is helping his grandfather, so I'll help Esther.
Yeah.
Yes.
Medicine check?
Yes, with disadvantage.
Wow, you're
7.
Damerus.
Or a natural 20.
Dude.
Yeah.
Stable at 8.
You are both just
Stable you are not.
utterly exhausted and trying as best you
Wake
can.
up.
Like
I'm-
nearly 3 days in game. I've been exhausted.
Vela,
I'm real fucking
would
tired.
you like to do anything?
Yeah, with my last 2 slots, I'll cast Healing Word on both of them. If I can.
On which one first? You can only cast this.
I haven't seen. I don't know. I guess logically, I haven't seen Esther in a while, so it would be Esther first. So that is 6. Yeah.
Boom.
6 boons.
Thank you.
I did it! Esther, you're alive!
Herb, make another death save,
Good
please.
job.
Come on, you old bastard.
Meanwhile,
Don't die to me now.
You're healed.
5.
Healing,
Five.
healing, healing.
Actually, I suppose in this case it doesn't particularly matter. Well, no, Vela is. You spend your next healing word, and Herb, you are healed for.
Oh. 4.
This time I slap you when you wake up. You're alive! You're also a prick.
I spit river water in your face.
You're welcome.
Everyone, is this some kind of game where you go unconscious and wake up on a very strange surface in a very strange place?
No, you went for a nap in the river. Or on a turtle.
I'm gonna.
I lie back.
How big are we talking?
So, I'd say about. It's not. It's like it's still a tight fit for the 5 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Like a car.
Like, sort of. I'd say its shell is. It's not obviously it's not flat, but you're sort of. It's shaped as such that you can sort of like hold on with. You can also hold on, to various bits of the shell, and it's not particularly comfortable, but you're able to remain stable, even throughout the moving. It's probably about 5 foot radius, 5, 6, maybe 7 foot radius. So you, Damerus, do see this enormous stag leading the charge down, sort of following you downstream, now able to sort of keep up with your group. However, as it sort of is sort of starting to get within visual range, you hear from below an enormous rumbling, which Vela, you means you get the impression of it meaning stay away. At this, the stag stops in its tracks. The wolves that are coming up behind it stop. And then you hear the wolves turn and flee. The enormous stag sort of hesitates, pouring its hoofs in frustration, and then gallops away, back up the way that you came.
I'm gonna try and get near the turtle's head and just be like, whoa, which I'm hoping means thank you.
Gosh, I wish I spoke quieter.
It's the reference I didn't know I needed until I heard it. Vela is Dory. So you just get, again, just with your vague impression of communication, you hear which you hear two things in that. Welcome and
Roll initiative.
roll initiative. No, you hear welcome and safe.
Just kill it.
No, he said
Make a fine home.
no. He said we're welcome and that we're safe.
Good. I'm going to sleep.
Can't. It's hard for you to sleep on this.
I know. I'm just
Tilted
lying there in a
service.
very uncomfortable position, unwilling to open my eyes.
I'm gonna say to the turtle, which is hopefully sleep? Question mark.
We have no concept of question mark.
I think it's no.
Exclamation mark.
It's
You fucking what?
it's
Get out.
Just get shaken off.
Stop. Please respond.
It's-
Stop.
for some reason you get the impression of the workers control the means of production. No, it just says home.
I think it's taking us to his home.
All right.
But he carries us home on his back.
Yeah,
Does he want us to climb inside his shell?
Ask him.
That seems quite forward.
The halflings are tired.
We've only just met.
Where?
Roleplay.
Home. Where?
Home. It's only very simple
Are
concepts.
we currently moving?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're probably safe to assume that's probably not a good idea to climb in his shell.
All right.
Fine.
So,
I'm gonna be keeping an eye out to see on the riverbank if we get followed.
okay, make a perception check.
Can I not just go with my passive perception? I'm actively looking.
No,
at it.
because that's to do with being snuck up upon.
That's fine. Okay. 27,
27. Okay, good to know.
which is better than my passive perception.
I'm
so
just staring
you
into
guys
the
didn't
water,
roll.
feeling melancholy.
Feeling who?
Melancholy.
Not
Yeah,
in
that's
She's a
public.
lovely girl, and I
I'm
just
also
met her.
feeling melancholy.
Vodka orange coldplay.
Stop it.
Nah, but seriously, I am a big fan of the Megamind reference. So, you continue downstream. You're all kind of just taken aback at this incredibly large creature and how easily, seemingly, it navigates these rapids. It's not moving particularly fast, but you don't, there's no sort of turbulence or anything like that. It's a reasonably safe, almost relaxing ride if you weren't also damn exhausted.
Would you say we could rest for a short while?
Not really in this situation. Like you're all actively having to sort of like
Hold on. I guess.
hold on or balance.
Uh-huh.
Like you can't really, you can sort of get into a position and then sort of keep your hands on its shell and like, right, okay, fine, as long as I don't need to move.
Lies.
Good to know.
Just be moving on the shell.
It's always just you moving on the shell.
So back to the epic fantasy. You all, you're not really sort of able to rest in that regard.
Okay.
Time passes. You continue traveling downstream. Through the darkness, the night is becoming late. And the moon is high in the sky. The moon illuminates the river and illuminates the mountains and the forests around you. As you seem to keep traveling down through these rapids. There, you are on a decline. You are going downhill. And as you travel for the next few hours, the enormous turtle eventually moves off on a tributary. It winds its way through a snowy, wooded area, wends its way through, and eventually you come to a very large open space, into a very large lake. This lake appears is surrounded on all sides by either trees or more peaks, more peaks from the. You appear to be sort of, from what you can gather, you sort of have peaks to your south and to your north. And this very large lake, some 50-foot radius, maybe more, you're not entirely sure in the moonlight. But given that you are surrounded by trees, by mountains, you immediately feel safer than you have done in a good many hours. The enormous turtle moves across the lake, sending ripples out across the water. And those of you with dark vision can make out in the distance, as you get closer and closer towards towards the far shore of this lake, what looks to be a structure. Simple and made of wood, with various different things set up outside of it. You can see what looks to be some sort of drying rack and perhaps some poles of some sort, fishing poles and the like. The turtle swims forward and comes to rest near to this hut, and slowly moves up towards the shore. And you just hear once again, Vela, home.
I think this is his home. Are we up near the shore?
You're now, the turtle has now come up onto the shore, onto the little pebbly beach.
Oh, on the land already?
Yes, on the land, yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna dismount.
Okay.
Slip off his back.
Yeah, jump down.
You all dismount from the turtle easily enough. As you do this, as you sort of move up onto the shore, sort of some of you just, trying to catch your breath and, being sort of letting out a sigh of relief at feeling safe almost for the first time in hours. You watch, and for a moment you're taken aback, and your instincts kick in as you watch the form of this turtle begin to change. It shifts and shrinks smaller and smaller, but its shell remains. It shrinks down smaller and smaller until eventually its form has shifted into something bipedal. Can I have anyone who wants to make a nature check, please?
It's a Squirtle.
He does have cool sunglasses.
Now
Was that with disadvantage?
I can roll well with disadvantage. God fucking
No.
damn.
10?
10.
7.
15.
15.
15.
15.
Yeah.
Is that with disadvantage?
Yeah,
Fucking
with
hell.
disadvantage.
What was that?
So-
What was that earlier?
Exactly, that's what I'm fucking saying.
So, dark vision people.
It does help.
You see this individual, some 6 feet tall but hunched over, this enormous shell on its back, its skin very, very leathery. You've heard tales, Damerus, of these sorts of individuals, and Vela, you've probably encountered one or two of them on rare occasions. This individual is a turtle. The three of... Sorry?
Very
no.
good.
Yes, this individual has devolved from Blastoise into Wartortle. But this individual is carrying a long staff which it is leaning on and looks at all of you and says to you all in common, well, I said home.
Did you? I thought you said, "Oh."
I don't think you understood me when I was talking previously, my friend, but that's all right. Please, come inside. You all look, well, rather exhausted.
That's very kind of you, my friend. Thank you.
But of course. Come, we can talk inside. And he just begins to lead you towards the home.
Yeah, I'm totally
You'll just
following.
follow,
Yeah.
like, too exhausted to speak.
He's a turtle, you guys. He's a turtle. You're a turtle, right?
Yes.
Ah!
What's a door?
He is.
My name is Orok.
Alright.
Orok. I will see what food I have available. I don't have many guests.
That's all right. Anything you can offer us would be welcome. We don't have anything. We left it all behind.
Do you know how we can get it back?
I do.
How?
In time, my friend. San. I didn't see her.
They killed her.
Turtle bows his head.
Did you know her?
I did. I know all of them, as a matter of fact. They were once my people. He just continues walking. Reasonably, leisurely pace with his staff. He seems, you get the impression he's quite elderly.
Mm.
It's hard. It's hard to tell exactly, because you're not really sure. In fact, Vela, I would say, and Damerus, you would say, turtles generally live to around, they don't live super long. They tend to live to around 50. And you couldn't necessarily put a guess as to how old this turtle is, but he's on the older side.
Closer to 50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to?
So you knew them, or you know them?
I know them.
Do you know about this crazy grand elder nonsense man who's been telling them nonsense and stuff?
Somewhat, yes. He was the one who threw me out. But it's good to see at least that I still put the fear into them.
Well, I mean, you were huge. That was amazing.
Appearances can be deceptive, child. I'm sure that had it come down to an actual fight, they could have given me a run for my money, but they still fear me. They are simple in that regard. And at this point, you've sort of all reached the outside and sort of outside the house, and he says, unless you are opposed, I do not have much room inside. We can eat out here.
Al fresco.
Bless you.
Tortle's sort of the turtle walks over towards the side of the house, comes back with quite a large amount of firewood. Despite his sort of slow movements, this individual appears to be quite strong. Orok, he sets the wood down and spends a couple of minutes arranging the wood, and then just uses some druidic magic to light a fire, and you are there's this campfire with a few sort of logs just for seats, very reasonably close to the lake, just before the ground starts becoming too pebbly, and he says, "Please, rest, take a seat. I will bring what food and tea I have."
While he's gone, I want to go and sit over next to Drake. There's nothing you could have done.
Don't know that.
We know that.
If I hadn't been asleep, they might not have taken us.
You would have died. We all saw them. We all nearly died.
They ate that poor girl's throat out. They're fucking savages. I don't understand how people can do that.
I'm going to put a hand on his shoulder and just wait for Orok to come back.
I'm going to go with Orok to help with tea.
Okay. You sort of walk up to the edge of the hut, walk up a few of the steps as it's being kept off the ground, with a few fairly short stilts, and there is no door. It's just there is a doorway, but there is no door to close or open. And you hear him just pottering about inside, clanging of pots and things. You walk in, and it's a very simple house. There is a rug by the fireplace, which looks like it hasn't seen use in some time. It's a very small hut, 2 rooms, and you see him in the other room, just getting things out of some very basic, sort of shelves and cupboards.
Mm-hmm.
And he hears you come in and goes, "What was your name, child?"
Velafyra.
Velafyra.
Or Vela to my friends. And we're friends, right?
Well, I think we are now.
Thank you for saving us.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't come sooner or do more. I was aware of... Well, I am aware of what the children are doing. I do not...
Are you okay?
I'm quite all right, child.
Do I believe him?
Make an insight check.
No. I believe anything he says.
You can fly, you say.
5.
5.
No, sorry. 7.
Make a medicine check for me, please, Bella.
Caught that out.
Medicine. Also 7.
Okay.
He seems to be coughing.
He seems just to have a cough. And he's, again, carrying a lot of these very large, like he's got a big, large pot.
Well, let me help you with those.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Yeah, and and you're like, you sort of, it's like, oh, wow. It's like, this is heavy, and again, you're a strong old man.
Like,
yeah.
Impressive.
Well, Bella it is then. I don't get many visitors, of course. I'm not used to cooking for multiple people, but I'm sure we can whip something up. San, she came to me and as she told me about her plan, how she wanted to help, how you had shown her kindness, and I have not seen you before, but she described you. I, of course, wanted to help her. I want to help all of them, but this is complicated, and such discussions are always better with a good bit of warm food inside you, so here. And he just starts handing out, he starts handing out a few more saucepans and starts taking things out of various sacks, and he hands you a very large pail, and he just goes, "If you wouldn't mind drawing water from the lake."
Of course.
It's quite clean, I assure you.
Okay. I'll go do that.
Okay. So over the course of the next half hour, Orok begins, you're all sort of just sitting there in exhaustion. You see Vela draw water from the lake. He, you put it over the fire and you start bringing it to a boil. And Orok comes out with a large amount of different, vegetables and what looks to be some dried, preserved meats, and just puts them all in the pot. And just, starts adding, various bits and pieces from different things that he seems to have. Stirs the large. Delicious. And he hands out bowls and spoons to all of you, and he goes, "Please, help yourselves, have as much as you like."
I'm gonna shimmy on over to Drake and just kind of put the meat bits into his bowl. Trying to do it without the turtle seeing me.
Make a sleight of hand check.
I don't want to be rude. Oh yeah. Oh, it's 14.
14. The Orok turns to you and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize."
Oh, I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to say anything, child. It's quite all right. I know that.
Thanks, but I'm not hungry.
Drake, you've got to eat.
No, you don't.
You're a growing boy.
Esther, the last thing I saw was them eating her throat. I'm not hungry. I'm not eating.
Is there any throat in this?
I don't believe so.
Do we believe him?
Sorry. His eyes look at the bird.
The last people who fell in the river. We're reading them right now.
They kept asking questions.
Make an insight check.
yeah,
Okay. Right.
Hang on, this meat is purple.
Constitution save. No. He, alright, comes up to you and places a large hand on your shoulder. Just goes, "It's quite alright, son. I understand that these things are unpleasant. I'm sure you did all you could."
She was one of them. Like, how can you do that to your own people?
I have been wondering that myself. Orok just takes his hand off your shoulder and just takes a seat down by the fire next to all of you, looking out over towards the lake.
How did this happen to them? They weren't always like this.
They weren't. I am... my kind, we do not... well, let's just say I haven't always been from the mountains. I am a traveller. I was born far, far to the east of here. Place that I can barely remember myself, to be honest. But I have spent a great deal of my life journeying and providing wisdom to where I think it is needed. I discovered these individuals many years ago, these children of the serpent. They are... I know, son, that this probably doesn't mean much to you, given what you've seen. But for what it's worth, they were not always this way. They were once respectful of nature and of others. They did not seek out such savagery.
Does a lot good at her, doesn't it? Who they used to be.
I know. I can see your anger, and I do understand it. I did not hold their beliefs. I do not have such a single-minded vision of the sanctity of these mountains. They are beautiful, and they are most certainly sacred in their own way, but there are many such places in the world. But these individuals, they are focused on this place and this place alone. I tried to guide them as best I could, and I did for a while. And then he came. I don't know if you've seen him, the hairless dwarf. You recall that you did all see this individual?
He was fanatical. Insane.
His name is Thal. I do not... He is, as you say, fanatical. He is... I'm not sure of the word. Insane, fanatical, and just charismatic as well. His force of personality was enough to drive itself into these individuals. He challenged me. Not entirely fairly, but he challenged me and I lost. I do not mind in my own way. I am not long for this world, anyway.
Soon you'll be on the stairway to heaven.
Quite possibly, friend.
And the rest of them, they're all happy just to go along with his murderous plans.
I don't think it's a question of happiness. I think it's a question of fear. They respect strength, you see. There are two individuals whom he swayed to his cause, once friends of mine. You may have seen them. In fact, that elk that you fought so bravely against. He is one.
Yeah, he seemed like a lovely fellow.
Dorse, his name is. The other, another powerful dwarf. He sometimes likes to take the form of a serpent. He goes by the name of Boar. He was, he was Sans' father.
Oh, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we met him. Just buried him in his family. The poor girl died anyway.
He was a man who wouldn't save his own children if it meant leaving his beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of your fanatics.
Really so recently swayed.
This Thal. I do not know what he believes or what master he serves, but he is not what he says. He is no friend of nature.
I don't understand. So some random dwarf shows up with no hair and goes and stands in front of everyone and says, "Don't listen to presumably you anymore," and they just don't. I don't understand what's happened. How has this happened? Where's he come from?
I do not know. But he challenged me. He defeated me.
How long
It
ago
was
this?
a month, perhaps. I'm not certain. I suspect now, in hindsight, that he had already turned some to his cause. The poison they used was effective in weakening me, and it would explain how he won. His powers are not like mine or like yours, Vela. His powers come from something else, and he worships something else. He uses the children of the serpent to his own ends. To what ends, I do not know, but he is no friend of nature.
So wait, if he wasn't always with you, like anyone can just rock up and say, "I'm challenging your leader, your elder," and you've got to say yes?
Yeah, I find that so strange. And he's not even using druidic magic. Why?
It's a
What?
bad system.
It is a bad system.
The fucking hole is better than that.
The what?
I said, my granddad. Doesn't matter.
It wasn't powerful enough to sway them, though, was it? Not even the whole magic.
So if we challenged him, we could be the new druid leaders?
Assuming he doesn't mind control us like he presumably has already.
Mm.
If he's this charismatic, no one's that charismatic. Not even Drake. In so few a number of months. What was the fight like?
He looks out over the lake. He sort of closes his eyes. He is powerful. He made use of magics that I am not familiar with. I just remember the ringing, the sound, He seems to think dissonance and things that are unpleasant to the ear sacred. I do not know. He is unlike anyone I have ever met, but he is dangerous.
Right, but anyone dies with enough arrows in them, so can I challenge him or not?
You can try, son.
Well, we've still got 2 friends out there. And I'd rather not see them get eaten by fucking wolves as well.
I ask this with the deepest of respect and don't mean it to offend you, sir, but what exactly have you been doing in the past month? Just sitting by the lake and watching them eat their own family?
After they cast me out, well, Thor decided that an example had to be made, and he sort of unhunches slowly, looks up, exposing his neck, and sort of almost shrugs down his shoulders, almost pulling his shell down ever so slightly. You can see scars. Many, many scars just sort of encrusting his neck. He lifts an arm slowly, and you can see again sort of where his biceps would be more of these scars. You see more around his body, on the legs, on the arms, on the neck, and presumably in other places as well. I have been recovering, friend.
How do your people think that this is alright? You were their leader, for feck's sake. And a guy beat you and then he like, cut you to shreds, and they're like, oh, that's fine.
It's amazing how people can turn on someone they used to accept.
They are afraid, son. They are deeply afraid. They live in an incredibly hostile environment. They live in a society where strength is respected. Now, of course, they were not always this savage. That is not the way of a beast. But they act purely, I feel, out of a desire to not be eaten themselves.
Well, what's the old adage, evil prospers while good people do nothing? Great for them. They're just as culpable. They could stop this and they don't.
I'm not saying I agree with their methods, son. I'm just trying to find an explanation for it. Doruk looks up, sees just looking up at the moon and goes, I will bring what blankets I have. You are all welcome to stay here for as long as is needed. Here. And he moves over to the fire and sort of lifts the stew pot off it and puts on a smaller one, and then starts pouring some particular herbs from a pouch at his belt. Pours some lake water in, and just over the course of the next few minutes begins steeping some tea. And he says, you are all welcome to stay here for as long as you need. I would advise even you with your elven blood, fella. If you drink this, you will sleep deeply and well.
Thank you.
Thank you. We need it.
Of course. I always think that, beautiful as the night is, it is not a good time for positive thinking. Come the morning, we will talk more. And he gets up and begins to slowly walk inside. He says, "Please, if you feel more comfortable inside or anywhere, my home is yours."
Thanks.
Thank you.
What's the temperature like outside?
It's pretty chilly, save for the fire. You would imagine that sort of sleeping away from the fire, you'd probably be just very, very cold. You've been cold for quite a number of hours, so this fire has been a welcome addition.
I'll take some of the sleeping draft or whatever it is, and then go inside and find somewhere that looks like I can curl up and go to sleep.
Okay.
So I'm going to go somewhere I can watch Drake.
You can stay by the fire. Stay by the fire.
Doesn't look come easily. Spend most of my time staring back up the mountain, just like eventually resign myself to just kind of staring at the fire instead of constantly looking up.
Okay. Bella?
Do people feel comfortable resting?
I'm already asleep.
Okay.
I went.
Not
I
you
grabbed
then.
it. No.
Do we want to take turns at staying up, or?
I'll stay up. Well, I'll wake someone up, but I'll stay up first.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you drink the tea?
I will.
I'm staying.
I'll. Although I think I'll probably go drink,
Damerus makes
go to
it 4
meditate, and I
days.
guess it'll make me
Yeah.
fall asleep, right?
And that tea probably makes us exhaustion proof, right?
Oh, I'm fully aware, but Damerus is having a broody moment.
Maybe we can bottle it.
Double D. Double
Yeah.
D.
Oh,
Single
droopy
tea.
D.
So, as Orok comes out a while later, seeing you keeping watch, and goes, "It's all right, son. I'll watch over you."
Yes, I'm sure you will. I thank you. I don't mean to press. You said that you may know a way of us getting our things back. There's a number of things very important to me have been taken. I would rather have them returned to me as soon as possible.
Your young halfling friend is not the only one who feels a sense of responsibility and of guilt. I assure you, I have every desire to sort this problem out as much as you do. We will go back. I promise you. Sleep, my horned friend. You look like you need it.
Yes. Thank you again for plucking us out of the river. I was certain I was going to drown before I kind of gestured to my sleeping friends before I was going to see any of their sorry faces again.
I understand.
And I kind of sip at a tea for a while and then just come up and go to sleep.
Okay. So, sleep finds all of you. Even you.
Whoa!
Even
You found
you-
me.
Even you, Vela.
Don't always sleep.
Which is an odd sensation because although you are capable, you're just as capable of sleeping as everyone else, you just tend not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, this sensation of actual deep sleep is peculiar. And over the course of this night, as you all just drop down and down into blackness, you all begin to dream. And that is where we will
Of
end today's
Africa.
adventure.